Are you thinking about living in Thailand? Are you curious about how far your money will stretch? How much will it cost to rent a condo or a villa? How much are all the bills? In this video, I'll break down my current costs of living to give you an idea of what to expect. Hi, I'm Andrew. I've been living in Thailand now for the last 6 years. During that time, my situation has changed and I now live in a bigger property. When I first came here in 2015, I was working in a school, so most of my days weren't spent at home, so it was okay to rent a smaller property. But now there's two of us and Jerry and I both work from home. Because of that, it's really important that we both have our own separate space to work to make sure that we don't disturb each other. Of course, if you're planning to come and live in Thailand, there are many different scenarios available. You might be coming for a short period, maybe for 3 months, and you want to travel around the country and see as much as possible. You might be coming here to work and you might be planning to stay for a year, test the water, and then decide what you want to do after that. Or you might be coming here to retire. So obviously your personal circumstances will determine your budget. What I'm going to do today is break down my current costs, and this is based on 2 people sharing. I'll give you the prices in Thai baht, but on the screen I'll also show you the prices in British pounds and in US dollars. We like to eat out in restaurants most of the time. Sometimes Jerry cooks, but I've got to be honest, it's very rare that you would see me in the kitchen. I don't think I'm that good a cook, but I also think I'm a little bit lazy. Actually, it's probably not that I'm lazy. In Thailand, there's so many great restaurants to choose from, and if you like Thai food, there's a lot of really cheap and tasty options available. Right, let's start off with the biggest expense, which of course is property rental. And the prices really do vary depending on which part of the country you choose to live in. For example, if you start off up north in Chiang Mai tends to be a little bit cheaper. But then if you move to, say, Bangkok, you would expect the prices to be a little bit higher. And then if you want to live in the Southern Islands, so if you want to live in Phuket or Koh Samui, you would expect the prices to be a little bit higher again. We're currently staying in Koh Samui at the moment, and we signed a 2-month contract and we pay 28,000 baht a month. Now, if you do sign a contract for a year, you will get a better deal, because if you're signing for a longer period of time, there's often a discount available within the monthly rental. For this price, we have a 2-bedroom property, and I'll show you a little bit of this property now, but in our next video, I'll give you a full villa tour, but I just want to focus on the prices a little bit more today. So we've got 2 separate bedrooms, there's a living area, a dining area, a kitchen. There's also an outside area, there's a swimming pool and there's a garden, and this property is fully equipped. And also included in this price, it also includes garden maintenance twice a week, and someone comes to clean the pool twice a week as well. Personally, I think for this property, what we receive, it's really great value. We're actually moving out of here in a week's time. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to the agency in the description, and if you like this property and want to give them a call, they're really fantastic. They're called Beyond Properties. The next expense that we have is electricity, and this amount can vary depending on the size of your property and of course how often you spend your time at home. For example, in the past when Jerry and I used to work outside of home, the bill was a lot less. We used to pay maybe 1,500 Thai baht a month. But now, because we both are at home a lot, the last bill, which I'm showing you on the screen now, was 3,140 baht. Now, for some people, that might seem a little bit high, but because we're at home regularly, for us, that's not too bad. And a lot of people might not use air conditioning on a regular basis. For me, it's essential to use air conditioning because if I haven't got that switched on, in a hot country such as Thailand, I sweat a lot. And when I start sweating, I start to get irritable. Then the next bill that we have, our water bill last month was 625 baht. And this was higher than what we used to pay again, of course, when we lived in a condominium. I think we used to pay maybe about 200 a month. But because there's a swimming pool in this property, that bumps up the price a little bit. And there's some sprinklers in the garden, and every day at about 4:30, the sprinklers come on for about 15 minutes. And anybody who knows me can imagine my comment on the first day when the sprinklers came on. My comment was, Jerry, is this going to cost us a lot of money for the water bill? And it hasn't. 625 baht a month is reasonable. As I mentioned earlier, when it comes to doing things around the house, I am a bit lazy and I don't really enjoy cleaning. But there's an amazing cleaning company in the local area and I'll leave their telephone number in the description. We get the property cleaned every 2 weeks and 2 staff come in, do a really thorough clean. They stay here for 2 hours and it's only 700 baht for 2 hours for 2 people, which is brilliant. If you intend to stay in Thailand for an extended period of time, you're probably going to need some sort of transport, either a motorbike or a car. Currently, we're renting a Honda Click motorbike for 2,000 baht a month. And that's quite a good price. Usually, you would expect to pay 2,500 baht a month or upwards. But in the past, when we lived in one place for a permanent period, I bought a Honda Click second-hand and that cost 19,000 baht. So buying your own motorbike is a cheaper option, but unfortunately this year that's not possible for Jerry and I because we're not staying in one province for long enough. We're staying somewhere for a month or 2 months and then moving to another part of the country. But to be fair, 2,000 baht a month to rent a motorbike is a very good price. Then in addition to the cost of the motorbike rental, we spend about 100 baht a week on petrol, but we don't really go that far. We go to the beach, we go to the restaurant or to the supermarket. The next expense is food, and this amount can vary greatly depending on your taste. For Jerry and I, we like a combination of street food. We go to Thai restaurants, eat cheap food at the restaurants, and I do like having Western food now and again. For example, sometimes on a Sunday, I really enjoy going for a Sunday roast. And of course, if you do like Western food, then that's going to increase your budget quite a lot. But on an average day, we usually eat breakfast at home. Lunchtime, we pretty much always go out for lunch, and the majority of the evenings, Jerry cooks at home, and in total, for 2 of us, we spend about 15,000 baht a month. The next expense is insurance, and again, the price for insurance can vary greatly because of a number of factors, the level of cover that you want and your age. At the moment, I've got a yearly contract with a company called Thai Health Insurance, and I leave their number in the description, and I pay about 8,500 baht a year. If we break that down onto a monthly basis, that works out at about 750 Thai baht. Next, we have the cost for your visa, and of course, again, the price that you pay for your visa does depend on the visa that you require. Currently, I'm staying on an education visa which allows you to stay in the country for 12 months as a student. Today, I won't go into too much detail about the education visa, but in a future video, I'll share a little bit more information with you about the process, how you apply for that and what the costs are that are involved. At the moment, broken down on a monthly basis, this costs me roughly about 4,000 Thai baht. with the cost involved for insurance and for a visa, that price would differ depending on whether both of you are from overseas. In my situation, I'm from England, Jerry's from Thailand, so he doesn't pay for a visa, of course, and doesn't need to pay for insurance. Next, we have our phone packages. At the moment, Jerry and I have a monthly package with a company called Fin Mobile, and we both pay 250 baht a month. For that, we get 300 minutes of free local calls and we get 80 gigabytes of data. Because we both work from home, it's essential that we have this amount of data as a backup, because in Thailand, quite often there are power cuts, the electricity stops working, which leads to the Wi-Fi not working. And if that does happen, we just quickly switch over and use personal hotspot. Of course, there are cheaper packages available if you don't need as much data. In addition to this, you might also need to factor in the cost of a Wi-Fi package. Currently, the place that we're staying, we've got Wi-Fi. It's 5G Wi-Fi, so it's extremely fast. But you might need to pay for a monthly subscription, which can cost you in between 400 and 700 baht a month. And finally, other expenses really does depend on how you like to spend your free time. For example, in the past, we would maybe go to a bar for a couple of cocktails or a couple of beers, maybe once a month, and that we would spend maybe about 2,000, 3,000 baht a month. At the moment, we don't do that because there has been an alcohol ban. So in our budget, we're not going to include any extra spending for alcohol because we're not spending any money on that right now. But that's definitely an expense that you need to think about and definitely factor in, because if you do like entertainment or going out to bars, nightclubs, then that will increase your monthly expenditure by quite a bit depending on your lifestyle. Okay, so the moment of truth, all of those expenses combined together on a monthly basis for two people comes to a grand total of, drum roll, 55,815 Thai baht, which personally I think is not bad at all. If I compare my expenses in England in comparison to Thailand, this amount of money definitely stretches a lot further and I definitely get more value for my money. When you think about all of those expenses, rent, electricity, a cleaning fee, an internet package, food, motorbike rental, it's fantastic. I hope this was useful. If you do have any questions, as always, leave me a comment. And also, if you do live in Thailand or if you have lived here in the past, let us all know what your expenses were like. Were they the same as ours or were they very different? It's really interesting and useful for everyone to have a look at the variation. Thanks for watching and have a good day.